everyone, here is Team 3. Our topic is self-driving vehicles. I'm Kara, this is my friend Ruby and Sophia. Initially, I want to talk about what is self-driving vehicles. An autonomous car is known as a driverless or a self-driving car. It was designed to travel in the absence of a human operator. It is similar to have a personality driver, except that these vehicles does not involve human interactions. Let's move on. How do it work? Driverless cars sense their surrounding using technology such as LiDAR, radar, GPS, and computer vision. Then automatically to plan the route and control the vehicles to reach the predetermined target. When talk about the driverless car, we can't ignore the Waymo. That has been the first to reach many milestones along the journey. It is a subsidiary of Alphabet and a sister company of Google. Last year, Waymo has created a free early rider program in Phoenix, Arizona. It has prepared 500 minivans equipped with their self-driving systems to handle ride requests. The company said testers could ride anytime across a test zone in Phoenix, twice the size of San Francisco. The test is the first large-scale public trial of a driverless car system. To acquire more information, they had been doing a small-scale test of ride service of their self-driving systems with a few Phoenix families. They want to acquire more information, such as where people want to go in a self-driving car, how they communicate with their vehicles, and what information and controls they want to see inside, and so on. But the cars it will not be entirely autonomous because Arizona laws governing the use of autonomous vehicles demand a test driver be behind the wheel to take control in the event of problems or collisions. It took the company 18 months to reach its first million of self-driving miles. Some people predict that we will see the Waymo driverless car on the road by 2020. As firms around the world, As the firm around the world raced to develop self-driving cars, the British government also began to support the development of driverless cars to reduce the cost of congestions. I found some interesting information. A study by INRIX found that London commuters spent an average of 74 hours stuck in congestion during peak commuting hours in 2017. The study estimated that total cost of congestion to all UK motorists at 37.7 billion. Let's move on. 5AI, one of the UK driverless car company, has moving as quickly as possible to design a driverless car. They hope to gain regularity approval to take to the road without someone being behind the wheel to steering as a human fail-safe at some point in the future. 5AI has a fleet of data collecting cars that will gather information from roads in Croydon and Bromley as it looks for an alternative to driving to work. It is trying to figure out shared mobility services to replace the commuter car and help to reduce the congestions, emissions, and the cost and the time of journey. In 2019, 5AI will design a supervised trial on London roads with a safety driver behind the steering wheel, with the aim of testing the autonomous vehicles without a driver in early 2020s. Actually, the core of driverless car is self-driving systems. Okay, let's take a look at the effort of the 5AI.
At 5AI, I am involved in developing such computers that understand their environment as good as humans do. This is critical in making vehicles drive safely around us without any human intervention.
Okay, next.
At 5AI, I am involved
Eventually, we also can foresee the development of self-driving systems across several forms of transportation, such as commercial trucking, personally owned vehicles, and ride-sharing services. Well, that's all I want to talk about, and thank you for listening. Then my friend Ruby will continue to illustrate more details about the commercial trucking I have mentioned before. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Right now I will present to you about self-driving truck. When it comes to self-driving truck and a self-driving car, it would be a mistake to think the expected rollout date of both environmental should be identical, but they are different. Let's see it. You can see in its slide, the car's weight is likely be 1,500 kilometers, and the semi-trucks could be 1.8 tons. The substantial weight of the trunk means the time it takes to stop them is much longer than cars. But trunks has less ability to swift to avoid an accident. The weight of semi-trucks created unusual technology challenges, but it still has a lot of development. Below the usage of the level 4 automation in check has already been tested by company in real world environmental. The first one is highway driving, the second one is platooning, and the last one is fly for topology and flow roads. So what's the meaning of the? Let's see it. First one, highway driving. Highway driving means a trunk that can drive itself on highway while the driver rests. Drivers are limited to work 16 hours a week and need to take a specific break. It means vehicles that idle for a long stretch of time. Theoretically, a trunk that can drive itself on highway while the driver rests would allow the trunk to operate almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the second one is platooning. Platooning means that each trunk drives off the one in front of it, dramatically reduce fuel usage. Platooning is when multiple trunks drive in unison very close together. Testing by the Planto Silicon Valley company developed the technology, found that it reduced fuel use for leading trip by 4.5% and float trips by 10%. And the third one is provide protein and small roads. That means in the small size, defined roads and low traffic, the low speed, that conditions make trucks easily to get the full autonomy. This is the identify of the three uses. Now let me show you some advantage, some examples. Can you help me? So you can see this a piece of real video that company named Embark, taken during the way they made the self-driving truck traveled amongst across South America. You can see in the map. And it makes coast-to-coast travel from LA to Jacksonville, Florida, driving 2,400 miles from one end of the U.S. Drives themselves from X to X across a long distance, with a human driver take over for the final deliveries in more complete area. So you see, they still need a human to park it at the end. Let me show you another case. It will be more intelligent. a Volvo driving truck. Using in mind, this is the first full self-driving truck to operating under such tough conditions. It's a true challenge to ensure that everything work meter creates more than 1,300 meters on the ground. And this is the location of Kristianbo mine in Sweden. You can see it on the map. So let's go. It also uses laser sensor to see, but not GPS we thought it may use. It's just a beginning. She has higher goals. Villa. Let's take a look at the villa. You can see it has no space for driver to sit. The goal is to enable the self-driving truck to leave the mine and drive to construct a set above ground and then to drive on the public way, like the type of the truck, and it will be introduced more in your handout. The next part will be introduced by my partner Sophia. The future and the disadvantages of driverless things.
Okay, let me first show you the disadvantage of the driverless cars. Number one, the possibility of even worse crashes. As is known, driverless cars leading by computer devices, even a minor computer malfunction may cause worse crashes than a crash occurring because of human error. Number two, the threat of terrorists. Terrorists will use driverless cars to load them with explosives and use as moving bombs. Number three, the price of the self-driving cars. Self-driving cars is very expensive and costs more than 100,000. Many ordinary people can afford it to buy such kind of cars. Number four, no one is guilty. If the car without driver crashes, who should compensate for the damage? Number five, problems related to weather. Heavy rain interferes with the room-mounted laser sensors. In this turn, snow can interfere with cameras. It's very hard for a robot to read a human road sense. Number six, reduction of driving experience. Since drivers become used with the driverless cars and they will lack of experience and proficiency will reduce. And if they will need to drive and under uncertain circumstances, many problems will arise. Number seven, change of the road system. The road system would be changed in order to adjust it to the driverless car's vehicles. For example, traffic and street lights should be altered. Number eight, security worries. The other disadvantage of the driverless cars is the factor of hackers. Hackers may get into the car software and affect or control its operation. This is a very big security concern. Number nine, jobless drivers. Many trucks as well as the taxi drivers may become jobless as the autonomous vehicles take over. Number 10, privacy concern. Driverless cars would function using your information and your place by creating major privacy issues. And number 11, the last one, the difficulty of understanding human behavior. It's easy for you to understand the other one's behavior, but it's very difficult for the computer to understand. Tesla electric SUV crashed into a barrier on US Highway 101 in Mountain View, California. This is a picture of the accident. Federal investigators are looking into the California crash as well as a crash in January of a Tesla model that may have been operating under the autopilot system. Now the Uber accident. Tappy place that the self-driving car was in autonomous mode at the time of the crash, and that vehicle hit a woman who was walking outside the crosswalk and later died at a hospital. There was a vehicle operational inside the car at the time of the accident. In what appears to be the first reported fatal crash involving a self-driving and a pedestrian in the U.S. Okay, about the future of the driverless car. With the development of technology and the progress of the times, driverless car may have a broad application prospect in the future, such as driverless car of delivering takeout and the driverless couriers, 菜鸟 and Jingdong. Here I mainly introduce the driverless bus in the future. Recent Swiss high-speed concept car developers unveiled a self-driving vision concept car, the SNAP. It's defined as public transportation, passenger, and a small commercial car. Do not use any fuel, it uses electricity. And its body is modular design, can be split in two parts of the chassis, and cockpit part is equipped with the powertrain and hardware equipment. The other is part of the passenger safety cabin. Passenger cabin parts can use to camping trailer on mobile store. Passengers can grow strawberries and the mint in the car anytime and join it in the tea. With the development of the techniques, it's no doubt that the driverless car will have a broad future. That's all. Thanks for the listening. Is there any question?
In the case one, if you show us the Tesla autonomous car,
Yes.
Tesla says driver took no action despite the system's running, but I think Tesla should stop the system, stop the car when they make a autonomous car, not just running. So the reliability of these systems directly related to our lives.
But we live with life. We not just live with automobile things. So it's automobile things live with us. So it should be more developed because life is just the most important things in our life.
So you're saying that the system should, even if the driver doesn't do anything, the system should automatically stop or take action if the driver doesn't. Is that okay?
Because this part is the disadvantage of the driverless car. So it's the part should be developed.
This is a movie accident. You can see. Maybe you can get some information about the accident of the driverless cars. This is from and another view. You can look at the horrible facing because the accident, the driverless cars, maybe some crack
maybe the system have some little cracked or in it, so it have an accident and it hit a pedestrian.
Hope that is helpful to you. Any other questions?
Yeah, you said that you were talking about the electric, one of the last ones that's electric vehicle that uses no fuel. Where does the electricity come from?
Well, this problem in the I think is the maybe you can see the electric vehicles in our in our life, and this I think is the same style about the ordinary electric vehicles, but it can be is the new thing about this car is about the about it can be divided in two parts, and the driver's cars and the passengers in it can enjoy a more comfortable environment without any I think the electric does not from the sun or the other. It's just generate from the machine in the car.
So it produces its own electricity? How? How? How does it produce the electricity?
The machine.
We haven't found a specific detail.
Because to produce electricity, you have to have some other source
About how
of
to
energy.
introduce it.
Solar or gasoline or
No
coal. If you plug it in to charge it,
Maybe
then that electricity was produced using something.
Yes, I think maybe we'll have some specially place for it to charge actually internal machine to create electronic, just a guess.
Okay. But the electricity that comes through the wall is produced using coal or fossil fuels or something. So it's still using fuel.
Yeah. But it is inevitable.
Hmm?
But in this part, in nowadays, I think it is inevitable section.
Okay.
Perhaps in the future we can do some innovation.
I think the car is equipment with a powertrain and hardware in it, so it can generate the electric to forward, and maybe you can charge it.
But if you charge it, something produced that electricity.
Yes.
Okay.
Any question?
Okay. One more question.
What companies are involving in this research project, and can you name it what are they?
Excuse me, can you
What companies are involving in this research project, and can you name it what are they?
The earliest company is Google and Uber and
Tesla.
many companies we have been illustrated on the handout. They have been created a unit to apply for a law to approve the run of self-driving vehicles to on the road. So
I just need the company name or
in my you can find it in the handout for one. This one. The second question.
Almost all of companies who involve who take part in the research of this technology or
Okay, so Nokia or Toyota or any other Chinese vehicle companies?
And Toyota and Kia may have. I have searched it. It really have it about the driverless car. But in here, I just mainly produced several companies, but they didn't include.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.